You will not be able to master lightning until you have dealt with the turmoil inside you.
What turmoil?
Zuko, you must let go of your feelings of shame if you want your anger to go away.
But I don't feel any shame at all. I'm as proud as ever.
Prince Zuko, pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame.
I think it's just one of those things where I just feel like if you are very reclusive about your own skill set as well, like I think you don't really develop as an artist either. Because if you're very one-track minded on what you do and what you do is better than what other people can do, and that's the kind of attitude you have towards it, you're not very open to sort of bringing in new ideas in your own work, and it makes it very stale. And I think you can kind of notice that in certain artists' work.
You'll avoid, you'll also, the thing is, because I think I was, like, I when I was a teenager, I played, like, well, I still do, like, play guitar, you know, and that was, like, my main source of, like, creativity when I was a teenager, was playing guitar and kind of writing music. But I remember I was a little bit, I was like I was I mean I definitely wasn't like boastful about it, because I didn't really rate my own ability very much, but because I used to, you know, and if people ask, is like, you know, do you play guitar? I would say like, oh yeah, but I'm not very good, kind of thing, you know. But I think if you know that program Avatar the Last Airbender.
Yeah.
There's a line in that where like there's a character called Uncle Iroh who's trying to teach another character called what's he called again? Zuko. He's trying to teach Zuko like a new skill, and I think he says something like, in order to learn this skill, you need to kind of move away from your shame, and the character replies like, "Oh, I'm prouder than I've ever been," and he says, "Well, pride and shame aren't different emotions. They're both they're both very strongly linked to each other," and I think that's like a very, very wise thing, because I think that's very true. It's kind of if you have pride, then you're not very good at learning new things, because you're kind of you're frightened to, because the kind of the shame of
Frightened to fail, aren't you?
Yeah, the shame of the failure that which is always going to happen when you're learning something new. That shame is going to put you off trying it. So like, for example, when I was playing guitar when I was a teenager, like there was certain things that I just hadn't developed at all. Like, for example, finger picking. You know, like playing kind of folky finger picking type things. Like, I couldn't do that at all when I was a teenager, and I just used to just avoid it. And if anyone tried to teach us anything that was like, that had finger picking in, I would just be like, no, can't do it. No, I can't do finger picking. I'm crap. And then I would, like, you know, I would just try and avoid it, and that was just like the worst. It was the worst kind of attitude to have when you're learning, to just avoid something because you can't do it, and you're worried about embarrassing yourself. Like, and it wasn't even just around other people that I would avoid it. It was actually like, if I was practicing new things that I couldn't do, I wouldn't kind of like play through the stress. I would get really stressed, and then I would stop and I would give up. Do you know what I mean? And like, I can see maybe, like, I've come into like doing this art stuff at quite a late age, but if I'd come into it when I was a teenager, then like I could imagine potentially having some of that more kind of like pride and shame associated with it that would potentially like slow me down quite a lot, because I think like I think it's something that you definitely have more of when you're an adult is the kind of, well, when you're older is kind of the, I guess, like a humble attitude towards something of like okay, you've kind of, you've learned enough new skills that you kind of know that, okay, I am gonna really suck at this for quite a while, but like I'm just gonna kind of keep at it and not be too hard on myself when I'm in that stage, because I know the only thing that's making me like suck is the fact that I haven't done it much yet. So if I just keep doing it, then like I'm gonna get better, and therefore the things that you kind of actually go towards things that you can't do rather than trying to avoid them, sort of thing.
I think that's a really, really important lesson to learn, and it's funny that you should mention that, because I experienced that exact thing in my first year of university, where it was one in particular where we had to do a 2-week task of just filling sketchbooks, but like it was all landscape drawing and like real life drawing, which is not my expertise whatsoever. Like I'm not very good at sort of capturing real life because of how imaginative my work is. And I think it was kind of just sort of seeing on paper just my own particular flaws in my work and being kind of like forced to confront that.
Yeah.
That made me very uncomfortable, because I was just like, wow, okay, I'm not very strong at this, and it's quite dreadful to look at. And it was kind of like sort of staring yourself in the face almost and going, all right, to address this. And I was very uncomfortable with it, very, very, very uncomfortable with it. But now that I've gotten older, like, for example, backgrounds, I've never really done anything with backgrounds before my pieces, like, in terms of, like, putting my characters into an actual place. And I've just said to myself, well, I need to rectify that. I need to be doing things that I can't do to get better at this, because, like you said, there's no point running away from it. I did that. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You don't get better at it. It just makes you more uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it stops you in one place.
Yep.
Forever.
And it really does hinder your ability to grow as well. Like I feel like if I just kind of looked at that from a different perspective and said, like, this isn't to embarrass me, this is to make me understand that it's good practice. It's good to sort of face your abilities and kind of reevaluate them. If I'd had that attitude when I was doing that, I don't think I probably would have reacted the way that I did.
Yeah.
But so nice in hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get older.
Yeah, hindsight is a brilliant thing. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you say, this is that kind of ability to just be kind of humble and stare at your own flaws is something it's incredibly difficult when you're young, but it becomes like it becomes like I mean, I think it's actually quite easy when you get, you know, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Is it age, or is it just, I don't know. I just feel like I'm much better at learning new skills now than I was when I was young.
Yeah, I feel that way as well. I think partially it may be a bit of maturity in there, I suppose. But granted, maybe not, because there'll be kids that have that mindset straight off the bat. But
oh, definitely, yeah.
Easier.
Yeah.
Not as insecure, I suppose. You're quite insecure, at least I was when I was younger.
Sorry?
Not so much now. I was quite insecure when I was younger, not so much now. So.
Yeah, I was very insecure as well when I was younger, yeah.